Ever ignored a bank SMS or email saying KYC update is required? Well, the RBI has finally made it easier, safer and more customer friendly. Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about the RBI KYC, that is Know Your Customer Amendment Directions 2025. So RBI has recently released certain KYC norms related to 2025. Before starting the discussion, I would like to tell you about this amazing thing that we are conducting a live webinar. Here AIR1 will definitely be sharing you a 60-day study plan for your RBI Grade B examination 2025. So definitely register for it. It's happening on 21st June at 4 p.m. And there will be a Q&A session as well. So in case if you are having any kind of doubt, then definitely you can ask and clarify all your doubts. So do register for this webinar. We have also launched the RBI Grade B 2025 batch. This is a complete course, and the exciting thing is it is with the books, right? So you'll be physically getting the books. Here are the course highlights. You can have a look. You can download our Oliveboard application for getting all the updates and to download all the PDFs related to all the YouTube sessions. Let's quickly start. We are going to discuss about the KYC update for directions that is being released by the RBI recently for 2025. We all know that the original directions are master directions in KYC in 2016, right? So in 2016, RBI released master directions on the KYC, and this is particularly an amendment in 2025. There was a need for amendment. Why? Because for enhancing the customer protection, bettering, improving the service delivery, right? And financial inclusion. So here is a amendment from the RBI side related to 2025 KYC direction. It is applicable effective immediately, right? The applicability is it is effectively applicable on the date of publishing of this particular circular. So what are the key amendments here? The first thing is they have introduced a low risk customer, right? There is a relaxation for the low risk individual customer. If you are an individual customer and if you are being categorized as a low risk customer, right, there are internal criteria for that. If you are a low risk customer, then in that case you will be definitely getting some benefit related to KYC updation. Let's suppose your KYC is pending as of today. So what will be the new guideline as per this amendment is KYC must be updated within 1 year of falling due. Let's suppose today is the due date. So within 1 year, you got relaxation of 1 year. Within 1 year, you need to do your KYC, or by 30th June 2026, whichever is later, this 1 year date, or by 30th June 2026, whichever is later, right? So that's a big relaxation that RBI has granted. So in case if your KYC is pending, you'll be definitely getting 1 year from that pending date, or 30th June 2026, whichever is later here, right? So whichever is later here is mentioned, we can say that the regulatory body has given a relaxation, right? This is not whichever is earlier, this is whichever is later. So definitely it's been drafted in the interest of general public here, right? So regular monitoring is mandatory here. Regular account monitoring will be mandatory here. Applies even to those KYC updates was already overdue before this circular. Let's suppose the KYC updates were already overdue and this circular came as of now in June, right? Still it will be applicable. This circular will be applicable on these old KYC related updates as well, right? So within 1 year from the pending date or 30th June 2026, you need to get your KYC done, okay, whichever is later. You can see here as well, I have pasted the screenshots from the circular as well, so that you can get a feel of how the language is mentioned, how they mention these rules and regulation, right? Notwithstanding the provision given above. So earlier there used to be a provision in 2016 direction. They have mentioned notwithstanding the provision above. That means this particular circular has overpowered any other kind of regulation which was earlier there. So notwithstanding, abhi yehi eligibility aane wali, right? So the categorized low risk customers can now definitely update the KYC within 1 year from falling due, or 30th June 2026, whichever is later. Okay, so this is the language of circular. You can definitely read it later on as well. So there are both the screenshots of circulars, plus I have given a summary as well related to the circular. Next is the use of business correspondent for the KYC update. Now we can also use the business correspondents for the KYC upgradation, right? So banks are now allowed to use the business correspondent service for periodic KYC updates as well, right? So if there is no change in KYC information or is there any kind of address related change in the KYC, definitely you can avail the business correspondent service as well. What is the process? A self declaration plus the supporting documents are required. Let's suppose if there is no change in my KYC, right, then there is no need for submitting the documents again and again. We have seen multiple times bank taking documents, Aadhaar card and PAN card again and again related to KYC, but there is no change in my KYC. Then what is the need? If I have already submitted the documents, from now onwards I can just give a self declaration. I can just offer a self declaration here. The bank will be taking just the self declaration and that's it. I no need to redo my KYC again and again because there is no change. If not feasible, it can be taken in the form of physical as well. So if electronic form is not feasible by the business correspondent, then definitely you can give it in physical format as well until the e-mode is ready for use. Biometric e-KYC authentication must be used by the business correspondent. So biometric e-KYC authentication can now be used by the business correspondents as well, right? So business correspondents will authenticate the document, submit it to the feedback and provide the acknowledgement to the customer that your KYC is done, right? So this is now eligible via business correspondents as well. You can submit your KYCs via business correspondents as well. Bank will then update the KYC in the system and notify the customer as well that the KYC is being updated here. However, this is a add-on service that you can get your KYC done via business correspondent as well. Still, the bank will always be solely liable and the business correspondent is not at all liable. They are just the agents of the bank. The sole responsibility of KYC lies with the bank only, right? Regulated entity only. You can read here as well that self-declaration form, in case there are no changes in the KYC. If there is no change in the KYC, then definitely a self-declaration form from the customer will also work instead of redoing the entire KYC, right? Or in case if there is just the change in address, then they can definitely be done through, these kind of stuff can definitely be done through the authorized business correspondents of the banks as well, right? So that's the provision here. Okay, so there is regarding one provision regarding the communication as well, right? Now how will customers be knowing that whether they need to do the KYC or not, whether the deadline for KYC has been there or not, right? So in that case, the bank needs to frequently communicate regarding the deadlines of the KYC, right? In that case, you need to give a due notice for periodic updation of KYC. So if you are a bank, then definitely you need to furnish at least notice to your customer regarding the KYC update, right? So there is new clause a new clause has been inserted here, mandatory advance intimation and reminder. You need to intimate the customer, you need to send the reminders as well before the KYC due date. So you need to very well inform the customers even before the KYC due date, at least 3 advance notifications, including 1 by physical letter. Rest you can do it via email communication or via SMS as well, right? So 3 advance notification you need to send to the customer. Why? That your KYC is pending, that too before the due date, right? Let's suppose this is the due date of my KYC, then before this due date at least 3 advance notifications are required, right? Out of which 1 should be via physical letter. You need to physically send a letter as well to the customer address which is already there registered in your system, right? Rest of the 2 can be any other electronic means as well, that's also fine. After KYC is due but not done, let's suppose the date is now crossed, however the KYC is not yet due as of now. So in that case, at least 3 follow-up reminders again you need to do, again 1 via physical letter, right? So again 3 after the due date. Communication channel can be definitely via SMS, email, physical letters, etc. However, a compulsion of one physical letter is required here, right, as per the new norms. Okay. Bank must record the issuance of such notice for the audit trail purpose as well. Bank needs to maintain enough documentation so that they can prove that they have communicated at least 3 times and 1 via physical time as well, right? This is to be fully implemented by 1st January 2026. So here the due date is as well mentioned, 1st January 2026, right? Next is regarding a related thing, updation, periodic updation of KYC, revised instructions. So again, they have released this particular direction on 12th of June, right? So the Reserve Bank of India has observed a large pendency in periodic updation of KYC. So there is a large pendency in periodic updation of KYC, including the account opened for direct benefit transfers. So some of the accounts are being opened for getting the direct benefit transfer. However, the Reserve Bank of India has observed a large pendency here in periodic updations, right? So in order to further ease the process for the convenience of the customer, so RBI wants to here ease the process of the customer related KYC. They have again amended, right, the directions. So there are now the directions of KYC 2025. Earlier there used to be 2016. They have amended those directions, and they have also allowed the business correspondent as well to facilitate the KYC process. Further, banks are being advised by the RBI to organize camps. They need to launch intensive campaigns, right, including the special campaigns, so that they can definitely focus on the periodic updates of KYC as well. So now banks need to do the campaign process as well, both in the rural and the semi-urban branches as well, right? And those branches that are having large pendency of updation related to KYC, those branches need to do campaigns here. They need to organize camps so that they can boost up this process, right? Okay. The process of onboarding customer and updating the periodic updation of KYC has been simplified, and the same has been given below. If you are doing the face-to-face model, if you are following the face-to-face model for onboarding of the customer, then face-to-face mode KYC needs to be done through Aadhaar biometric based eKYC authentication here, right? So if you are opening your account face-to-face, definitely you will they will be taking your Aadhaar biometric based eKYC they will be doing, right? They will be authenticating that. And if the customer wants to provide a current address as well, different from the address that was earlier been given in the IRDAI database, let's suppose मेरे आधार के अंदर address is different and I want to give a separate address, right? He may definitely give a self declaration for that as well to the RE. Okay. Further, digital KYC process is also allowed for customer onboarding. Then we do have non-face-to-face mode as well, right? So consent-based onboarding of the customer in the non-face-to-face mode may be done via Aadhaar OTP based eKYC authentication here as well, right? So definitely again Aadhaar based OTP can be used for non-face-to-face as well, because you cannot use the biometric as of now because there is no face-to-face interaction here with the customer, right? Customer onboarding via non-face-to-face mode using the digital mode like KYC identifier or equivalent e-documents, or maybe via DigiLocker documents, right? Non-digi modes such as obtaining the copy of OVD certificates by additional certifying authorities are allowed for NRI and PIO. Let's suppose if you are non-resident Indian or person of Indian origin are subject to certain conditions, so you need to follow some additional conditions as well, which are already stated here, right? Then there is video based customer authentication process as well, and simplified process of updating and periodic updation as well, right? So we have already discussed about the self declaration stuff, right? Another thing that was recently released on 12th June related to this only was inoperative accounts and unclaimed deposits in the bank, right? So if you are having inoperative accounts, if you do have unclaimed deposits in the bank, there is an update here. So inoperative accounts, unclaimed deposits in the bank, revised instructions 2025. What are the revised instruction here? We'll be having a look. So we all know that in case if we do have a credit balance in our deposit account which is maintained with the bank, which has not been operated, this is not at all an operative account here. For up to 10 years or more, then definitely the bank needs to transfer the unclaimed amount for 10 year or more to the depositor education and awareness fund, right? DEA fund scheme, right? So they need to transfer it, are required to be transferred by the bank to the DEA fund maintained by the Reserve Bank of India. There is a need to enable the business correspondent to facilitate the updation of KYC as well, right? So accordingly, in section 35A, they have updated that. We already do have the power to exercise as per the section 35A under the Banking Regulation Act, right? So these instructions shall be called the inoperative accounts or unclaimed deposit in the bank. Revised instruction. Earlier also we used to have that these kind of directions. However, there are certain updates here, right? So what is the update here? A bank shall make available facility for updation of KYC for reactivation of the inoperative account. If your account is now inoperative, then definitely bank needs to have such facilities for reactivation, for updation of your KYC related to the inoperative accounts and unclaimed dividends at all the branches, okay, including the home run branches as well. Let's suppose it's not your home branch, still they need to arrange such facilities so that you can definitely redo the KYC and make your inoperative account operative here. Further, bank shall endeavor to provide facility of updating the KYC in accounts and deposit through video customer identification process as well. So VCIP also they need to facilitate, right? Video customer identification process that can be also done, right, via video methods. Okay, so again, this was an update, and definitely the business correspondents are also as of now eligible for redoing the KYC that we have already discussed. So thank you so much. This was the update related to KYC. Okay, see you soon in some other video. Bye bye, take care.